Hey folks, as the days start getting shorter and the sunlight fades a little earlier, a lot of us wonder if our plants can actually keep up with the season. But here's the good news: not every plant needs those blazing summer rays to thrive. In fact, some plants actually prefer the cozy, dimmer vibes of fall. Today we're diving into 10 amazing plants that don't just survive, they actually flourish when the light drops and the days get cooler. So grab your favorite fall drink, settle in, and let's find out which green companions are ready to brighten up your home this season. Croton might surprise you as a fall-friendly plant, because those fiery leaves look like they belong in summer, but here's the deal: it actually does really well when days start getting shorter. This plant thrives with around 4 to 6 hours of indirect light, which fits perfectly with the softer, filtered sunlight of fall. Its bold colors, from deep reds to golden yellows, actually pop even more in lower light settings, making it one of the best mood lifters for gloomy days. Crotons like their soil kept slightly moist, not soggy, so a good rule of thumb is watering once the top inch feels dry. And here's a fun fact backed by NASA's Clean Air study: crotons help filter out toxins like formaldehyde and benzene, meaning while it's looking vibrant, it's also improving your indoor air quality. With average fall temps sitting between 60 and 70 degrees in many US states, crotons feel right at home since that's their preferred range. They're proof that not all houseplants fade with the season. Some, like croton, use fall's softer days to show off their best colors. Orchids might look delicate, but fall actually gives them the kind of environment they love. These beauties prefer around 10 to 12 hours of indirect light, and since fall days naturally get shorter, a simple north or east-facing window is usually enough to keep them happy. What makes orchids shine in autumn is the cooler night temperatures. Most types bloom better when evenings dip into the 55 to 65 degrees Fahrenheit range, which happens naturally in many US regions during fall. Watering once a week is usually perfect this time of year, since their roots hate sitting soggy, and they thrive in well-draining bark or moss-based mixes. A cool fact is that orchids are one of the largest plant families in the world, with over 25,000 species, and many are adapted to seasonal changes, meaning fall isn't a setback. It's actually their cue to put out new blooms. So instead of fading with shorter days, orchids use the season to recharge and surprise you with fresh flowers that can last for weeks. Snake plants are basically the champions of low-light survival, which makes fall their time to shine. They can tolerate everything from bright indirect light down to dim corners where other plants would quit, so those shorter days don't bother them at all. In fact, studies show snake plants continue photosynthesizing even at lower light levels, storing energy for steady growth instead of wilting. They also prefer fall's cooler temps, thriving anywhere between 55 and 85 degrees Fahrenheit, which matches the average climate in most US homes as the season changes. Watering is a breeze. Once every 2 to 3 weeks is plenty, since their thick, upright leaves store moisture like a built-in reservoir. And here's the kicker: NASA's Clean Air research found that snake plants filter out toxins like xylene and toluene, making your home healthier while they stand tall with their striking, sword-like leaves. Instead of struggling with shorter days, snake plants take the season in stride, proving they're not just survivors, they're low-maintenance powerhouses. Aloe vera isn't just the go-to for soothing sunburns, it's also a tough plant that handles the shorter, softer days of fall with ease. Unlike many plants that slow down when sunlight fades, aloe vera can keep going strong with just 6 to 8 hours of indirect light, which makes fall windows perfect for it. Since temps in much of the US drop into the 60s during autumn, aloe fits right in. That's its sweet spot for steady growth without stress. The soil care is simple. Use a sandy, well-draining mix and water only once the top 2 inches are dry, which often means every 3 weeks in cooler weather. What's impressive is aloe's ability to store water in its thick leaves, letting it stay plump and green even when conditions get less than ideal. And here's a neat fact: those fleshy leaves don't just look cool, they're packed with over 75 active compounds, from vitamins to antioxidants, making aloe one of the most functional houseplants you can keep around. Fall may dim the light, but aloe vera stays useful, hardy, and hands down one of the best low-maintenance companions for the season. Thanksgiving cactus is practically built for fall, since it naturally gears up to bloom right around late November when the days are shorter. Unlike desert cacti, this one loves indirect light and actually thrives when daylight hours drop to around 8 to 10. That reduced light is the trigger that tells it to start setting buds. Cooler night temperatures between 55 and 65 degrees Fahrenheit also encourage more flowers, which lines up perfectly with fall weather across much of the US. Caring for it is simple. Keep the soil slightly moist but never soggy, and use a lightweight potting mix with good drainage. Fun fact: Thanksgiving cactus can live for decades, often passed down through families as heirloom plants, and some are known to bloom twice a year under the right conditions. Instead of fading into dormancy like many plants do in fall, this cactus flips the script and explodes with pink, red, or white blooms just as the days get dimmer, making it one of the ultimate low-light, short-day showstoppers. Polka dot begonia is a perfect pick for fall because its colorful, speckled leaves actually pop in lower light, making shorter days an advantage rather than a drawback. This plant prefers bright, indirect light but can tolerate moderate shade, so those dimmer fall mornings won't slow its growth. Keep the soil lightly moist, letting the top inch dry out between waterings, and it will stay happy without fuss. Average indoor temperatures in fall, around 65 to 75 degrees Fahrenheit, suit it perfectly, helping the leaves maintain their vibrant pink, red, or white spots. A fun fact is that polka dot begonias are part of the Begoniaceae family, which has over 1,800 species, many of which are adapted to understory or lower light conditions in nature. Unlike many plants that sulk when the sun fades, polka dot begonias use the season to show off their decorative foliage, proving that even in fall, a little color and charm can brighten up any room. Ponytail palm is a low-maintenance superstar that actually loves the shorter, cooler days of fall. Despite its palm name, it's a succulent at heart, which means it thrives in indirect light and can handle the lower light levels that come with autumn without a hitch. Its bulbous base stores water, so watering once every 3 to 4 weeks is usually enough, especially as growth naturally slows in fall. The plant enjoys average indoor temperatures between 60 and 80 degrees Fahrenheit, making typical fall conditions ideal for steady, stress-free growth. Fun fact: ponytail palms can live for decades indoors, and their long, curly leaves can grow several feet long over time, giving your space a dramatic, sculptural touch. Instead of struggling with reduced daylight, this quirky, drought-tolerant plant quietly adapts, showing off its unique shape while staying practically carefree throughout the season. Living stones are one of the coolest fall-friendly plants because they actually thrive when the light drops and temperatures start cooling down. These little succulents mimic stones to survive in nature, so they're built to handle low-light conditions that come with shorter autumn days. They prefer bright, indirect light but can tolerate moderate shade, making them perfect for indoor fall setups, and their growth slows naturally during cooler nights around 60 to 70 degrees Fahrenheit, which is just right for many US homes. Watering is minimal, just enough to keep the soil barely damp during their growing season, usually every 3 to 4 weeks in fall, because overwatering is their biggest threat. Fun fact: living stones bloom in autumn with tiny, daisy-like flowers that contrast beautifully with their pebble-like leaves, turning what looks like a rock into a vibrant, living display. Instead of fading when days shorten, these fascinating plants embrace the season, offering both low-maintenance care and a striking conversation piece. String of pearls is a showstopper for fall because its trailing, bead-like vines thrive even as daylight hours shrink. Unlike many plants that slow down with less sun, it grows well in bright indirect light or partial shade, making it perfect for shorter autumn days. Its succulent leaves store water, so watering once every 2 to 3 weeks is usually enough, especially as growth naturally slows in cooler fall temperatures between 60 and 75 degrees Fahrenheit. Fun fact: this plant originates from the dry regions of South Africa, which explains why it's so drought-tolerant and low-maintenance, yet adds a dramatic, cascading look to any shelf or hanging planter. Instead of sulking in dimmer light, String of Pearls uses fall's gentler conditions to maintain its unique, playful charm, proving that even low light spaces can host stunning, conversation-worthy greenery. Mexican snowballs are a perfect fall companion because they handle shorter days and cooler temperatures with ease, thriving in bright indirect light or partial shade. These compact flowering plants enjoy fall's average indoor temps between 60 and 70 degrees Fahrenheit, which encourages steady growth and keeps their clusters of white, pink, or lavender blooms looking fresh. Watering is simple: keep the soil evenly moist but never soggy, usually once or twice a week depending on your home's humidity, so they don't dry out or rot. Fun fact: Mexican snowballs, also known as Farfugium japonicum, are surprisingly hardy and can bloom even indoors during autumn, adding a cheerful splash of color when many other plants are winding down. Instead of fading with shorter days, these resilient bloomers brighten up spaces, proving that low-light fall conditions can still support lively, vibrant plants. And that's a wrap on our list of 10 amazing plants that actually thrive when the days get shorter and the light fades. From the fiery colors of crotons to the playful vines of string of pearls, each of these fall-friendly plants proves that lower light doesn't mean less beauty. If you try even a few of these in your home, you'll notice how they bring color, life, and even cleaner air into your space during the cozier months. Don't forget to give your favorites a little extra love this season, and if you found this helpful, hit that like button, drop a comment with your go-to fall plant, and make sure to subscribe for more tips on keeping your indoor jungle happy all year long.